High winds, power outages, blowing dust, health concerns, numerous event cancellations as firefighters continue to battle wildfires. We have team coverage right now on 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. We begin with breaking news. It has been a wild Wednesday as windy weather wreaks havoc on Kern County. We're following vegetation fires in Stallion Springs and one at Highway 178 and Rancheria Road that has closed the 178 in both directions just west of the Kern River Canyon. Plus, there are widespread power outages across Bakersfield, and it's all being blamed on the gusty winds outside. This is a live look in downtown Bakersfield from our Adventist Health camera. Yeah, that's the real shot right there. You can see how the winds are shaking that camera. You can see the palm trees almost bending over because of those gusts of wind and how dusty it is outside. It almost looks like a fog. It's looked like this all morning. Here is a few shots of the gusts and the dust around the area earlier today. We have full team coverage this afternoon. 17's Kevin Shred in the Pinpoint Weather Center tracking this wicked weather. We also have 17's Amber Frias live in Bakersfield with how these winds have caused issues all morning. But first, we begin with 17's Aton Wallace. He's live in Stallion Springs after a fast-moving brush fire broke out there this morning, forcing people to leave their homes. Good news, though, at this hour. Right, Aton?
Well, let me tell you, Maddie, right away that forward progress has been stopped on this fire. As you see, as I step out of frame here, this has been dubbed the Thief Fire. One house burned on the 3000 block of Cummings Court near Horse Thief Drive, and the blaze quickly spread. According to firefighters, the fire grew between 6 to 8 acres in the small community here in the Tatchby Mountains. Mandatory evacuations were issued for residents living south of Cummings Court and between Morgan Court and over there, but Kern County Sheriff's deputies were assisting residents with the evacuation, and a Ready Kern alert was sent to 285 people in the area, alerting them of recommended evacuations. Sheriff's officials said recommended evacuations were suggested at the time for about a quarter-mile radius of the area here in Cummings Court. Now, just a few moments ago, we spoke with a neighbor who lives in the house just next to the house that burned, and he said he's grateful.
I was in the house and I heard the siren, looked out the window and saw the fire truck coming down the street.
Now, as you keep on looking back at the charred hillside here, again, forward progress has been stopped. And I also want to let you know that the investigation of this fire the cause of this fire remains under investigation. Meantime, we are up here, as you know, in Stallion Springs above the valley floor. Right now, I want to send it down to Amber Frias, who is in the valley floor, to look at how the wind conditions have impacted Bakersfield. Amber, take it away.
Residents in the county woke up to gray skies, high winds, and just a lot of dust. Now, there is a lot of events that have been canceled because of the winds. There is health and safety concerns. Now, to tell you a little bit about my experience out here, as you can tell here at the bluffs, it is very windy, a lot of dust picking up, but that's not only here, that's true for a lot of Bakersfield. You know, just driving around, there was some areas where it was hard to see because of the dust picking up. There is also, you could really feel it in the car, the intensity of the wind. Now, in talking with a lot of residents around town, a lot of them had the same thing to say, which was that they had not seen wind so intense in a long time. Here, take a listen.
Well, it's just nasty, kind of. You can feel it in your lungs, and you can't do anything. You can't get done work. I'm on a ladder all day, so they told me to go home. So.
This resident is an electrician, and he says that he's now lost half the day of work due to the winds. And he's not the only one that's had something to lose because of the winds. The fall festival scheduled to take place at Shafter High School has also been canceled today. And in addition, the Kern High School School District support services are suggesting no outdoor activity for their students, and the Bakersfield City School District is actually running on a rainy day schedule, which means no outdoor activities whatsoever for their kids. Now, experts recommend that you try your best to stay indoors all day, but if you absolutely need to go out, the Kern County Fire Department does have some tips for you. The first tip is if you are driving, try to keep your speed down. Don't drive too fast. The winds are very strong. Second, be alert for any debris, any trees that may fall to the air, or any branches. And if you are really feeling the dust in your throat, then it is recommended, that you wear a mask. Now, how long are these winds expected to stick around? Let's toss it back to Kevin, who's in the Weather Center with that information and much more. Kevin?
Yeah, Amber, we're going to let you get in the car, and all our reporters that are out in the field have those masks. They're taking them off during their live report so you can actually understand them. But we are definitely seeing the strong winds around the area. And I was just checking out my weather station at my home, and it puts out a nice little graph. And when I look at this morning, it's pretty incredible. At 1 o'clock in the morning, let's say, we were over at 75% humidity. That humidity in the southwest part of town dropped significantly by right around 5 or 6 in the morning. And that's when all this really started to pick up. I want to show you the current winds around the area right now. We have had wind gusts over 40. The most recent gust out at Meadows Field has been 38 miles per hour, and we're getting that easterly wind. And that is going to continue throughout the evening. So for the valley wind on our scale, we are in the high range, and the high wind warning is in place until 6 o'clock tonight. Look for a southeast wind 25 to 35. We could see some gusts near 60 miles per hour. I would assume that these will probably be near the Lamont and Arvin area, as we see very strong downsloping. And then the air quality alert until 11 p.m. on Thursday for the valley because of all the blowing dust that we are seeing. The fire weather warning still in place until midnight tomorrow morning. We could see wind gusts through the canyons at 50 miles per hour. Humidity levels are low, 5 to 10%, so the fire danger is extremely high. Here's a look at the wind forecast, and the good news is this model at 10:30 tonight starts to let up on the winds for the valley, still keeping them a little strong into the Kern County mountain areas. Now, one thing to note here is the temperature, 65 degrees. But look at the humidity values with all this wind. 5%. Dew point, -8. What does that mean? It means the atmosphere would have to go to -8 before we saw any dew or saturation in the atmosphere. So it shows you just how dry it is with that southeast wind at 28. Here's a look at the temperatures throughout the day. We'll be in the lower 70s, back into the 50s tonight. For the mountains, we'll look for daytime highs nearing 50 degrees. I've got much more on this wind event coming your way in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And the winds are sparking fires up and down the state. To our south, a new brush fire near the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library is forcing thousands to evacuate. We first told you about the Easy Fire this morning on Sunrise, burning in Moore Park. It's a fast-moving brush fire because of these historic Santa Ana winds. At last update, about 1,300 acres have burned, and the fire is threatening about 1,000 homes and that presidential library. Firefighters are attacking the Easy Fire on the ground and by air using water drops to douse flames. And I think we have a live look. We can show you what it looks like this hour. It is 5% contained at last update. Meantime, firefighters here locally made quick work of a brush fire that broke out during 17 News at Sunrise this morning. We brought this to you as breaking news as well. It happened in a field along College Avenue west of Morning Drive.
It's weird how it started, you know, it's right under the PG&E lines, but we aren't threatened here. Look at all the people, all the firemen that are here on the job.
And because of that quick response, the fire was quickly contained to that field. All right, now to the public safety power shutoffs. Thousands in Kern County are in the dark, and it's been that way all morning. Southern California Edison has about 12,800 customers without power, mostly in the Tehachapi area. There are also thousands of PG&E customers in the dark. About 700 of those are due to public safety power shutoffs. PG&E said this morning they received the weather all clear for all counties but Kern. And take a look at this. This is a downed power line on Buck Owens Boulevard. Right now, power is out in the area because of that power line being down. The outage has shut down traffic court as well, but that's expected to reopen in about 90 minutes. This is just one example of why so many outages are being reported across Bakersfield. At last check, more than 6,100 homes and businesses in Bakersfield are without power. That's down from nearly 9,000 earlier this morning. Still ahead here on 17 News at noon, tremors can make simple tasks nearly impossible, but there's a new treatment that involves no pills and no surgery, and it could help a majority of patients. We'll explain in your 17 Health Watch. We're back now in your 17 Health Watch this afternoon. Fetal exposure to a common pain reliever may have harmful effects on the child later in life. That's according to a new study from Johns Hopkins University. Researchers studied the cord blood of nearly 1,000 mother-child pairs to determine their exposure to acetaminophen. They found that children exposed to higher levels of the drug while in the womb were significantly more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD or autism than those with the least amount of exposure. Scientists say more research is needed. Imagine not being able to write a check or feed yourself because you can't stop shaking. That's the reality for millions with an essential tremor. In Arkansas, thousands are searching for a solution to the problem, and a University of Arkansas Medical Center doctor is determined to find that. Hillary Hunt has details.
Whenever I'd pick his bowl up, it would be just shaking in my hand.
A task as simple as this was anything but easy for John Kilgore.
I didn't dare take water to the table or handle a plate with one hand.
About 20,000 other Arkansans are in the same boat, suffering from essential tremors.
The tremor would not improve enough with medications, and so they have to live with a significant amount of disability.
But UAMS neurologist Rohit Dal was determined to find a solution to a shake that plagues so many.
We're just at the dawn of wearables as solutions.
No brain surgeries, no pills, just this.
2 in 3 or 3 in 5 would notice improvement where the tremor went from it went down by 1 grade.
This is the Cala Trio. It's about the size of a watch that provides neuromodulation therapy. Basically, the watch sends off an alert to your nerves that sends a message to your brain. UAMS, the only Arkansas hospital hosting a research group to give this wearable a trial run.
After the use of the stimulator, it just completely went away. And I thought, this works.
A simple study making everyday tasks possible for John and helping him avoid the operating table.
The wearable is currently not covered under insurance, but Dr. Dahl says it costs about $2,000. A brain surgery for tremors would run you about $35,000. All right, let's take a look outside one more time at this dusty day, Kev.
Yeah, it's turned into a pretty nasty one, and this is our Adventist health camera looking into the downtown area, and what do you see? A lot of shaking, and that is the wind blowing the Adventist health cam all around, and we've been seeing this since 5 a.m. That's really when the wind event started up. We're still holding on to 65 degrees for Bakersfield, humidity at 5% with a -8 dew point and a southeast wind at 28, visibility at 9 miles. This is also a recipe for high fire danger even in the valley. We have a lot of vegetation around the valley, and so the fire danger is also high for us. Temperatures are running into the 60s in all valley locations, and then into the mountains with Frazier Park at 40. We're getting no readings out of Tehachapi because most of Tehachapi is without power. Wasco, you can see sunny skies, but a little bit of a haze, 67. Arvin, you can see some dust flying in the shot there, 66 degrees. And this is all being driven by a ridge of high pressure to the west and a trough pushing through, a very strong trough pushing through California right now, and we get those offshore winds. Let me illustrate this a little bit better for Kern County. And again, we will continue to see this throughout the day. Here's a look at the Tehachapi Mountains, and we get that downsloping effect into the valley, and that's why Bakersfield is getting such strong winds. Now, up to the north near Shafter and Delano, we only have light winds. It's because we're so close to the mountain range here that we're seeing the strongest of the winds hit the Bakersfield area, and then they calm down as they continue further north. So that's why we're seeing such strong winds right now. We're still seeing wind gusts about 38 to 40 miles per hour, again coming out of the east. But look up near Delano and Wasco. Excuse me, I was just outside and the dust has been getting me. They are somewhat in the clear here, but still very strong winds into the mountains and more so in the valley. Here's the latest wind gusts that I could find. 44 for Bakersfield, Tehachapi at 51, Bear Mountain at 53. The Grapevine has seen a wind gust of 53, and Pyramid Lake, a little farther south, has had a wind gust of 22 miles per hour. Here's a look at all the watches and warnings. We have a lot of them. The wind warning for the valley from Bakersfield into Lamont and Arvin in place until 6 p.m. The air quality alert for the entire valley is in place until 11 p.m. tomorrow night, and down to the south, a wind warning in place until noon tomorrow. And then we also have the fire weather warning for the Kern County mountains until midnight. And then when this trough pushes on through entirely, we get a lot of cold air behind it, and a freeze warning is in effect for the Kern County desert locations where those temperatures are going to plummet. Here's a look at the forecast for the remainder of today. Hazy skies, dusty, winds could gust near 60 60 miles per hour. 68 for Bakersfield, 70 in Delano, and upper 60s in Taft and Maricopa. Tonight will be in the 30s and 40s. For the mountains, winds could gust near 60 here as well. An easterly wind sustained 25 to 35. 53 in Fraser Park, 50 in Tehachapi with 60s into the Kern River Valley. Tonight we'll be looking at 20s and 30s for overnight temperatures as this system continues to push out. And then for the desert, you can see temperatures tonight. Edwards, 17 degrees, 21 in California City with Mojave at 26 overnight. Winds gusting this afternoon near 45 miles per hour. Here's your extended forecast tomorrow. I do expect the winds to be much calmer tomorrow morning. Temperature of 70 for Halloween, and then we're in the upper 70s by the weekend. For the mountains, we'll keep a breeze around through early tomorrow. We should see improvements by the afternoon, and then by the weekend, upper 60s for you. The Kern River Valley forecast also going to see improvements as we head into late tonight into early tomorrow. And temperatures will rebound back into the mid to upper 70s as we head into the weekend. So we've got a lot to watch as we go throughout the evening hours in terms of these winds, the dust. But again, that high wind warning for Bakersfield and areas near Lamont and Arvin in place until 6 o'clock tonight. Alyssa Carlson will have the very latest on that.
It's crazy how you feel the dryness. Like my skin feels it. I don't wear lotion. I've had to put it on multiple times today. Our throats are drying out, and our voices are catching. It's just
stay indoors as much as possible. We can't reiterate that enough. I know a lot of the schools have canceled events, which they should. This is not the type of weather you want to be out in today.
No, absolutely not. All right, thanks, Kev. Yep. Amazon wants to make grocery shopping easier. We'll tell you how. Your 17 Business Watch is after the break.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Back now on your 17 Business Watch, and stocks are lifting a little bit today. The Dow is up about 90 points so far in trading. The NASDAQ up 24, the S&P 500 up 8. Checking oil prices while we're at it. West Texas Intermediate selling for $54.85 a barrel this afternoon. And Midway Sunset started the day at $59.29 a barrel. Amazon's looking for new ways to grow its grocery delivery service, so they're offering it free for users in certain areas. Amazon Prime members used to have to pay an extra monthly subscription of $14.99 for Amazon Fresh. That's on top of the $119 annual cost of Prime membership. On Tuesday, the company announced its 2-hour grocery delivery for Prime members would be free in more than 20 major metropolitan areas. Now the grocery delivery service is free with your Prime membership. The delivery minimum for the Amazon Fresh service is $50 in New York City, $35 in a majority of other service areas. Amazon's price reduction could put pressure on its largest rival, Walmart. It charges an annual $98 fee for grocery delivery. Would you pay a subscription fee for a rideshare service? Lyft hoped so. The company unveiled a new membership service called Lyft Pink. It costs $20 a month, and for that, you get 15% off all rides. The service also gives members free bike and scooter rentals, as well as priority pickup at airports. The company says Lyft Pink members will not pay lost and found fees if they leave something in a car. Cancellation fees are advertised as relaxed for members, though it's not clear by how much. Users can sign up on Lyft Pink waiting list right now, but it doesn't actually launch until later this year. With more and more of our shopping done online, tracking purchases has become increasingly important. If you want to get a better handle on your orders and when they might arrive, PC Mike Wendland has 3 apps that can help just in time for holiday shopping.
17 Track is one of the best totally free options for tracking your packages. It includes more than 220 carriers, and it lets you add up to 10 tracking numbers at once. Set your smartphone to receive push notifications for status changes. It's free for iOS and Android. Slice by Rakuten is another free option that also serves as the kind of online shopping assistant that just happens to pull double duty as a package tracker. Use Slice to track price drops for items you want to purchase, then find product recalls or find deals on products. It's free for iOS and Android. Parcel Track is great at the basics and has a no-frills interface. With Parcel Track, it's all about package tracking. There's also a notification center widget that lets you quickly and easily track packages without unlocking your phone. It's free to use with iOS and Android, but there is a one-time $2.99 in-app purchase for some additional features.
Are you thinking there may be a place on your smartphone for one of those apps, but you'd like to check it out a little bit more? Not a problem. Just go over to my PC Mike Tech blog. There's my address on your screen. I built in a direct link to everything you just saw. Till next time, I'm PC Mike Wendland. for NBC News.
And a quick update now from the CHP. Eastbound Highway 178 is now open into the Kern River Canyon as crews battle a brush fire at Rancheria Road. The westbound lanes remain closed. Ahead here at noon, 3 killed in a deadly shooting at a Halloween party. We'll take you to the scene in Long Beach and have the latest on the search for the suspect. We're back and making news around the state following a deadly shooting out of Long Beach. It happened last night just before 11 at a Halloween house party. Long Beach Fire Department says 3 men were shot and killed inside that home. 9 others were wounded. Their condition not known right now. So far, no arrests have been made. And the Federal Reserve cut interest rates this morning for the 3rd time since July, as fears mount that the global economic slowdown will begin to drag on U.S. growth. The decision came at a conclusion of a 2-day meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. Wall Street had anticipated such a move. When we come back here on 17 News at noon, we'll have another look at the dusty, gusty day and local conditions and what to expect going into Halloween tomorrow.
Welcome back, and we're finishing up our noon hour to talk a little bit more about the winds that are still blowing around Kern County.
Yeah, very dusty out there. It's hazardous outside. We've been saying it all morning. Don't go outside if you don't need to, and if you're going to be driving in it, you definitely need to take it easy. I know I'm heading home to Hatcheby in a little bit, and I definitely am going to take it easy on the roads because the passes are dangerous in this kind of weather.
All the roads can be dangerous at times, blowing debris. That is going to continue here for a while. Show you what we can expect as we go throughout the day in terms of the forecast. And right now, the purple area you're seeing, which encompasses Bakersfield, are those strong winds. We are seeing current wind gusts about 38, and they are out of the east. So those downsloping winds are going to continue for most of the day. Oh, excuse me, a wind warning in place for Bakersfield, areas near Arvin and Lamont until 6 p.m. tonight. And then we also have the high fire danger until midnight. And then we have the air quality alert, and that's in place until 11 p.m. tomorrow. I think the winds will continue to die out as we go throughout late evening into early tomorrow morning. You can see temperatures today will run into the 60s, but we could see some wind gusts near 60 miles per hour. So I know we have our spooktacular tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. I will be up bright and early tomorrow morning, right around probably 2 a.m. to evaluate, but I think the winds will be much calmer by tomorrow morning.
Big change for Halloween morning.
Big change from what we're seeing at 5 a.m. today till tomorrow for sure.
All right, well, that is great news. Yeah. All right, thank you for joining us for 17 News at noon. We'll have all of your weather coverage coming up tonight on 17 News at 5 as well.
Yep.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.